Thank you for watching the State of Texas Community Safety Education Act, instructional video for students on the proper interaction with law enforcement during traffic stops.
Presented by Rockwall ISD. In this section, we'll discuss the role of law enforcement and duties and responsibilities of peace officers.
Welcome to Cat World. Laws in Cat World are the same as in our world, they're just a bunch of cats.
In Cat World, much like our own, police officers are expected to treat motorists with dignity and respect.
Officers are not required by state law to provide their names or badge numbers to a driver, but may do so if required to by an agency policy.
It's important to remember when a citation is issued, it is not an admission of guilt. It is an implied agreement that the driver will appear in court or make the arrangements necessary to satisfy the court appearance. The officer should also instruct drivers to read the information provided on the citation regarding the driver's obligations to appear in court.
There are two types of searches, consensual search and non-consensual search. A consensual search is when an officer gets permission by the driver for a search.
Although a consensual search is preferred, an officer can perform a non-consensual search if probable cause exists.
Probable cause is the requirement that police have adequate reason to arrest someone, conduct a search, or seize property relating to an alleged crime. For example, observing or smelling an illicit substance in a vehicle.
Those are some things to expect from law enforcement during a traffic stop. In this section, we'll discuss the rights concerning interactions with peace officers. This pertains to both drivers and passengers.
Welcome to Dogville. Laws in Dogville are the same as in our world, they're just dog people instead of people.
First up, law enforcement, drivers and passengers should respond in a courteous manner during traffic stops and other interactions. This often sets the tone for the entire interaction, which is why it is so important to follow.
Although it is lawful for you to remain silent during a traffic stop, you are required by law to truthfully identify yourself when asked to do so by an officer. A driver or passenger can be arrested for giving false identifying information to an officer. It may be beneficial to verbally provide identifying and address information to an officer if you cannot present your license.
There are two types of searches, consensual search and non-consensual search.
A consensual search is when an officer gets permission by the driver for a search. Although a consensual search is preferred, an officer can perform a non-consensual search if probable cause exists. Probable cause is the requirement that police have an adequate reason to arrest someone, conduct a search, or seize property relating to an alleged crime.
If an officer suspects that a weapon is on your person, the officer may conduct a pat-down search of your clothing. A driver may not physically resist the search, but has the right to notify the officer that he or she does not consent to any further search. Consent to a search may later be used in court.
Those are some of the things expected from you during a traffic stop. In this section, we will discuss proper behavior for civilians and peace officers during interactions. You'll learn what to do while being stopped, what to do after you stop, and some important tips. First,
While being stopped by an officer, you should do the following. Slow down immediately and pull over to the right side of the road as soon as possible. Park your vehicle on the right shoulder or to the right of the road as far and as safely as possible. If safe parking is unavailable at roadside, move slowly to a side street or parking lot away from high-volume traffic. When visibility is limited, activate your vehicle hazard lights and/or interior dome lights. Keep in mind that an officer may approach the vehicle from the passenger side as a safety precaution.
Once your vehicle is stopped, you should do the following. Place the vehicle in park, engage the emergency brake, and turn your engine off. The driver should keep both hands visible on the steering wheel, and passengers should keep their hands in plain sight. Remember to lower your window as is required by state law. Before attempting to access your license or insurance documents, notify the officer of the location of your items and advise the officer that you are going to get the items. Follow the officer's instructions. When the officer approaches your vehicle, certain movements such as reaching and searching for required documents could be interpreted as a threat to the officer's safety or indicate possible criminal activity. Remain inside the vehicle unless you are instructed to exit by the officer. If instructed to exit the vehicle, check traffic and do so safely. Notify the officer if there is a firearm inside your vehicle. You should store all required documents in a different location from the firearm.
It is important to keep the following in mind. Do not reach or search for your license or insurance documents before or while the officer approaches the vehicle. If you need to search for something, wait until the officer is there and give them warning that you need to search for something. Do not attempt to leave a traffic stop until it has been indicated by the officer that the stop is complete.
At that time, you should give the appropriate signal and re-enter traffic safely.
In this section, we will discuss filing a complaint against or a compliment on behalf of a peace officer.
The time to make an argument or complain is not during the traffic stop. There are formal processes and procedures that you should follow to file a complaint.
Not all traffic stops are negative. You can also file a formal compliment when you have a positive experience.
You can search online to find specific complaint and compliment instructions for your local law enforcement.
And that's how you file a complaint against or a compliment on behalf of a peace officer. Narrated by Colton and Sydney.
Drawn by Kendra and Katrina. Thank you again for watching the State of Texas Community Safety Education Act instructional video for students on the proper interaction with law enforcement during traffic stops, presented by Rockwall ISD.